All right, welcome back. Now, I'd like to introduce y'all to Veronica Hardy because I don't think any of you have ever met this young lady. I have personally nicknamed her the Flyweight Grim Reaper. As of right now, she looks like an effing body snatcher. I mean, match her against Natalia Silva, taking Hardy. I don't know why nobody's talking about this. She's married to Dan Hardy. Hardy, during this 3-fight win streak, what have y'all been looking at? I'm curious. This is what she looked like to me. Low key. Match her against Shevchenko. Shevchenko is in all kinds of trouble. Whoever you match her up against, the way she looking right now. Now, she might go out here and get choked out. Because I think Mora is going to spam takedowns. She is not going to want to really strike. If she want to strike with Hardy, she better land something and hurt her. Hardy's offense is far more formidable. And she better hope Hardy is not being assertive and focused. She better hurt Hardy if she wants to strike with her. Because I don't see that going well for Mora. This broad right here looks like a dude. Have y'all noticed that? Who else has noticed that? It looked like a man in there fighting these broads. Now, let's take a look at something else. I'm telling y'all, this broad looks like a effing body snatcher. I would be most terrified of her if I had a fighter in the flyweight division. I would, of all the fighters, keep us away from that chick right there. No, if we don't have to fight that broad, we're not fighting her. We're not fighting her. Set your eyes on somebody else. No, nope, don't want to hear it. Let's look at something else that nobody else is talking about. And it don't take much research time. There's a lot of available information right here. Y'all remember what she did in 2016 when she was 21 years old? She was tweaking. She fought 7 times that year. Twice in March, again in April, again in May, July, August, September. That streak in 2016 earned her a UFC contract. Spazzing out at 21 years old. Now, I think all of us need to pump the brakes and examine that. Because that's a display of character right there. Yeah? I'm telling you, listen, I picked this up from the elders. It's always important to look at the mentality of fighters. Manuel Stewart was big on that. I brought this over from boxing, but look at it like that. He would often let his fighters live with him. He wanted to understand their mind as a fighter. It's real important. You got to have a mind of a fighter. There's got to be some type of killer in there. where you're just spazzing out, where you really got a monster inside you. You know, we might see some flashy hand speed, but then get talking to you, you kind of like a little sissy. You fold under pressure. It's good to know a fighter's character. This broad was spazzing out. She's tweaking out at 21 years old. Now she got stopped, but go watch that fight against Ashley Evans Smith. Go watch it if you can find it. It's on MMA Core, but I don't like all those ads for MMA Core. They had a pop-up say, hey, turn off your ad block. I'm not turning off my ad blocker. There's some highlights of it on YouTube. You can find that too. She don't even look like the same fighter. That Hardy don't look like the same fighter. Now at 29, remember, her prime years, y'all better stay mindful of late 20s, early 30s. Them is your prime years. Do not expect to see the same fighter you saw when they were 21 years old. That's especially a pattern with the females. Haven't y'all noticed that? They seem to be a lot different around the age of 29, 30, early 30s than they were in their late teens, early 20s. That looked like a pattern to me. If y'all seen otherwise, go ahead and let me know. Let the world know. Okay? Then she lost to Andrea Lee. That was by decision. Okay, but understand, she took a couple years off after that loss to Ashley Evans Smith. A much needed break. Right? Much needed break. The fight was in September 2016. She didn't come back until May 2018. So not quite 2 years, but over a year she took off. And when she came back, she made her flyweight debut. She was fighting here in her early career, 139, 132, 139. She even fought at bantamweight. Flyweight debut. What's going on here? She's getting into better shape. Go look at this fight, her against Ashley Evans Smith. Look at all the blubber. Look how chubby she was and out of shape. She's nothing like that now. She's nothing like. Go look at Shevchenko early in her career and compare to how she looked now. She's like a Greek statue today. Go look at her in the early. There's videos of Shevchenko at like 135, 145. Big, gigantic, planet-sized butt, hips, gut. Valentina Shevchenko right now somewhere on the internet. And she was in the same scenario, late teens, early 20s. A lot of these girls making drastic changes, not only physically, but skill-wise. Late teens, early 20s, which is what I believe is their prime years. Late 20s, early 30s. She came back in 2018 in May, lost again to Andrea Lee. Okay. Then she was stopped again. Okay, by Jillian Robertson, 21 in 2016, 22, 23, 24. Okay, stopped by Jillian Robertson. Defeated Poliana Viana. Lost to Bia Malecki at bantamweight. Still hanging around at bantamweight. And she's fighting at bantamweight. What in the world? Is she fighting at bantamweight or what? What's going on here? Is this an error with, this is an error with the Wikipedia. It's supposed to say flyweight. She's going back to flyweight right here. Isn't that right? That is what it should say right here. Because this is bantamweight bout against Bia Malecki. And look at that break. Look at that break after this bantamweight loss to Bia Malecki. She was doing relatively poor during this time of her life right here. See that? I want y'all to pay close attention to this live stream. Right here. It's a relatively poor time of her life. But she was mad skilled. She had mad talent. And then she married Dan Hardy between this loss and her comeback against Juliana Miller. And Hardy had been working with her for about a year. I want you ladies to also respect and be afraid of this right here. This woman got the power of her husband behind her. That, if you manage that properly, can be a huge advantage. And I believe they've cracked the code. Y'all better hope Mora stops her. Somebody y'all gonna have to deal with her. Y'all gonna have to put a stop. Y'all better be worried about this chick right here. She is under the tutelage of a good fighter. People forget how good Dan Hardy was. Off the top of your head, do you remember how good Dan Hardy was? Any of you? When was the last time y'all revisited his career? That man had incredible win streaks. An incredible experience. He was not a bad fighter at all. And this was a DQ groin kick right here, people. Incredible win streaks. Historic win streaks. In all these UFC discussions, Hardy's name better be mentioned in something. When you got lengthy, who is this and who is that? He better be mentioned somewhere. And they got married in 2022. And do y'all think he's not been working with her? It was just probably a big reason why she looked like a dude in there. This is dangerous stuff. A lot of y'all ladies don't have this. You're not married. And I think you can balance being a fighter and being married better than you can balance being a fighter and being a mother. I don't think being a fighter and being married hurts you if that husband is a fighter who is your trainer. That's when it's okay. I think a marriage can work against you if your husband is not into fighting and not a fighter. That would then make him another entity where you have to step outside of MMA to deal and interact with him. But with a situation like this, he's always there as a source of power for her. Ladies, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. When a woman is going in there off the strength of her husband, it helps them. I'm telling you, it helps them. It can be a huge advantage. Now, aside from that, in the cage, this broad looks crazy skilled right now during this comeback. What are y'all? I'm curious at what y'all looking at. This look like a freaking Matrix-like fighter. Again, like a dude in there. It's like Dan has trained her to exploit all weaknesses that females have in there. It sounds like he sat her down like, look, man, most of these girls is goofy and slow. They don't got good balance. They don't respect the intricacies of fighting. Man, her balance, her focus, her movement her form, speed, it's insane. And she does those ducks like effortlessly. Like she duck her whole body like duck far to the ground and pop back up like a little mouse. She like a Mighty Mouse in there, man. And I'm just saying all of this in comparison to her opponents. She's looking exactly like Natalia Silva looks compared to her opponents when you're looking at that speed and that craziness. Veronica Hardy looks next top level to me right now. Right now. And it's crazy that she's currently unranked. In my opinion, this current win streak should have earned her a ranked position. She dusted off the tough winner. Didn't Juliana Miller win that? She embarrassed Miller. Embarrassed her. Then Jamie Lynn Horth, kind of competitive fight, but yeah, go look at that fight, man. This shit, now, like I said, she can probably still get mauled, pressure, because that's what Mora's gonna do. That's why I give Mora a strong chance. Mora's gonna pressure, and try to Ashley Evans Smith her. That's what's gonna happen. But Hardy looks more assertive with her strikes today. More assertive and with better form, accuracy, speed. This is not the same fighter that fought Ashley Evans Smith at age 21 when that was the 7th fight that she had that year. And all but one of those fights in 2016 went 3 rounds. I mean, that's a lot, even for a 21-year-old. That's a lot to put on yourself. So maybe she overdid it, got burned out, bouncing up. You know, she wasn't in, maybe not at the best weight anyways. 139, 132, 135. And maybe she just went through something. You know, some type of growth. We all do it. But I'm telling you, this part of her career right here, she was like, she's raw. Really her whole career before she married Hardy, if you ask me. Raw, she's operating on raw talent, undisciplined talent. Raw, undisciplined talent, but her talent was carrying her over, helping her be competitive. Sort of like Roy Jones. He did a lot of things that was wrong, but he got away with it because he was such a freak athlete. And it looks to me like Dan Hardy was exactly what she needed. Very smart. Marry a former fighter whose MMA mind is respected to the point where he was made a commentator. He's a very well respected, if you ask me, a respected commentator of MMA. Right? For the most part, I prefer to hear Dan Hardy than to hear, y'all all know that, I've said that several times, than to hear Joe Rogan or Daniel Cormier. Or who's that other guy from the UK? Boy, that guy's annoying. If I could just listen to Dan Hardy and nobody else, I'd listen to UFC commentary. Y'all know I only listen to the Spanish version because I don't like hearing all the babbling. So, wow, what a story. That's a crazy story to me, man. That's a crazy story. Yeah. It helps make them more civilized. More civilized, I think, probably help give them more structure. You know, Dan's probably helping on all kinds of crazy stuff. Timing of your meals, how to have proper form in the gym, and all kinds of stuff. It's a whole different world when you actually have the mentor of a former fighter who is a good fighter, and that's your husband as well. Psh, watch out. Ladies, when you fight Veronica Hardy, you're fighting her husband as well. That's the big difference right now. And it shows. Watch her fights. She looks crazy, like a dude in there. With the way she fights. See, Dan Hardy and Veronica Hardy, y'all thought nobody saw y'all. I see you. I see you. Y'all been sitting back because nobody's been talking about this. Nobody's pointed this out. They're under the radar with this. After she married him 2022, she has come back and looked like the kind of fighter she was supposed to be during this early win streak. It looks like he's brought structure, discipline, and now she is the best version of herself. Again, at 29 years old, these flyweights better watch out. Boy, y'all better watch out. And if you ask me, Eduardo Mora, this could be an extremely one-sided fight. She better hope Veronica is not assertive and focused. She better hope Veronica is slipping with her takedown defense. She better hope, because if Veronica is on point, got her takedown defense, and I think there's a good chance that she will be, this could be an ugly fight, one-sided victory for Veronica Hardy. We'll see what happens. But Veronica Hardy, as of right now, for the fight, like I said, I do give Mora a chance. She could go in here and choke Veronica out. But Veronica Hardy right now looks as good or better than anybody in that division. We'll see what happens.